Thank you very much. Once again, let me take this opportunity to welcome you back at this aristocratic channel of ours. And then today, please take note, we are looking at this subject, which is a public administration and four. So this is public administration and four. And then remember that we'll be doing module two content, and then we'll answer different questions which may arise. We can assure you that if you are studying this very well, you will get a distinction. I've got no doubt about that. And then under module two, here we've got the development of the family, community, and the state. So remember, we are going to talk about the development, how the family develops, and then when there is many families, there a combination of families there, it is giving us a community, and then different communities, when they are combined together in different provinces, they give us a state. So we will see how is that development taking place. And then after this module, you will be able to give reasons why family ties can be seen as a starting point of the government dispensation. So we are saying that family is a starting point of public administration. And then if we are moving on, we would see that we would be briefly explaining the origin of the community from the conjunction family. So we are saying conjunction family, they will lead to what we call community, because of a community consists out of many families. And then lastly, we'll be able to give a briefly outline based on the course of the development of the state and name at least 5 characteristics of the state. So we need also to ensure that we are also looking at the show rocking, and then you'll see there, if we are moving on to the following page, this is the content that is there with the possible questions. We've said that a family is a starting point of public administration, and we have said that public administration, it deals with the government control. So we are saying here the government will control because of we are the ones as citizens that elected this government. So we are saying that the government must control, must ensure that there is public services. So, but in this context, we are saying, why are we saying family is a starting point of public administration? In simple terms, if ever there was no families, there would be no government. I want you to take note of that. And then the first aspect that you can be asked, please ensure that this question is out of 16 marks. And then the family for the interaction and communication with others. And then if we can take again the second aspect, you can say approach towards belief, value, problem solving, management of different customs and cultural orientation, language orientation, food provision, and human security. If we are moving on, we'll see that the children, they are adopt the dominant attitude. So please take note there, as a parent at home, the children, they will adopt the attitude that you are making and the behavior towards the what? Towards the community from their parents. So whatever that we are teaching our children, let us ensure that it is indeed a well behavior. And then if we can check again, we are having father and mother a starting point of the child communication system. In the examination, you can write up until here. And then when we are saying that, we are saying that the father and the mother, they will ensure that the child is communicating properly, which language does he speak, how is the behavior that is brought up, and all those particular elements. And then we are saying this mother and father, they will ensure that the child is well developed in terms of communication and resolving conflict with others. And please take note that the other aspect is this communication and interaction process. It develops the interpersonal skills, the skills and the values that he will further use where in his life as a whole. So whatever that you are teaching your child today, you must know that the child will grow and possess those particular interpersonal skills. If we are moving on again, we would see that the children also come into contact with other groups. Educationally, he goes to school, religious, where he believes, economics, and etc. If we are moving on again, we would see that the other aspect that we can mention there is that the children learn neighbors are to be loved and respected, and learn that groups are more important than individual. So that the children, they cannot be self-centered. This is also known as the welfare state, where he or she learns to take care of the old people and those in need of the help or whatsoever reason. So we are saying that in the olden days, we used to study biblical studies, whereby we were studying about the origin of the Bible and how to live in the society. And then the last point, that we can mention there is that the system of protection works as he or she will see how he or she is protected and who has protected from who and what. So that it is 14 mark question. Please don't lose that and ensure that you state those points very well. Here it is just a brief background that we are just going to look from here to here. And this is an important perspective documentation which was published where on the white paper. We have said that we're using the white paper, but now we use the government gazette to publish such information. And then this was coming from the Department of Social Development in South Africa. So we are saying that it is an information that is declared valid. That is what you must know. Okay. And then if we are moving on, you would see that we are going now to other aspect whereby you will be asked now the functions of the family. Here we would see that individual family members and how they live within the society. So the function, family function, we are saying here membership and formation. We are talking about they ensure that they provide economic support. They ensure that there's nutrients, support, and social skills. And lastly, there's protection of vulnerable members. And then individual family members, they provide a sense of belonging. You belong somewhere. They provide a personal and a social identity. They can even socialize within the family, and they provide the meaning and the direction of life. While in the society, they control productive function and they assure continuation of species. They reproduce. If we could go on again, we talk about the economic support. And then here we are saying they provide for basic needs of food, shelter, and clothing and other resources to enhance human development. And then in the society, they contribute to a healthy development of members who contribute to the society and who need fewer public resources. If we are going on again, we would see individual in terms of the nutrients, support, and socialization. They provide for the physical, psychological, social, and spiritual development of the children and adults. And then they ensure they instill social values and norms which must be practiced within the society. And then in the society now, we are saying that they prepare and socialize children for productive adult roles. They support adults in being productive and control antisocial behavior and protects from society from harm. And the last aspect that we need also to ensure that we know it, the protection and value of members. We are saying under the individual family members, it provides care and support for young, ill, disabled, or otherwise vulnerable members. And then within the society, we are saying this, it minimizes public responsibility for care and vulnerable dependent individual. So 14 marks, whereby you are saying ways each function benefit. Okay. And then I hope we are very clear. I want us to ensure that we are moving on again. As we are moving on, we would see that we would come to some work that we must still see here. If we are moving on, we would see that we go to the second question, maybe that can be asked in the examination, and ensure that you know it very well by heart. Up until for 9 marks, they will say briefly, explain 3 family system or name 3 family systems. So we've got in our community these 3 family systems, whereby there's a traditional system. We are saying here the father takes the lead. He does not to listen to any woman and no child. He's taking the decision and he is the head of the family. And then we've got the system of camaraderie. The father still plays a leading role. That is a difference. But the mother's opinion point is taken to account. But the traditional system now, the father takes control of everything. He buys grocery. He does not listen to whatever's intake. But now in the system of camaraderie, he still takes a role, but he's listening to the mother's view of point. And then we've got the system of equality, the agrarian system. And then we are saying both mother, the father, they work here in this system. They provide for their family. If the mother is taking out this much, the father will also contribute. They are joint parents. The parents, they take joint decision. It means they've got an equal point of giving what is needed, and they take an equal decision. So that would be for my 9 marks. And then question 3, we are to see that we are to give a definition of the state, and then this would be for 2 marks. And then we are saying a state is an organized society occupying the definite territory. So there must be what? There must be a territory in the state and possess an authoritative, so that is power, government, and independent from external control. That would be for 2 marks. Okay? As we are moving on again, we would see that this is the work that we must cover, and let us ensure that we pass this to our friends. The fourth question can derive there to say, state 5 characteristics of the state. How can we see that this is a country that is a state? A state is a country on its own. It has an independent government. So this question, it is for 10 marks. And then please take note that you are taking these 10 marks. Characteristics of the state and institutionally recognized demarcated geographic area. It has a permanent population. It has the right to self-determination, determination of a nation, which is part of the independent political sovereignty. And then we are saying a state is an independent political entity. And then it has, a state has an international recognition. That is for 10 marks. Okay? And then what you need to know here is that they are saying, briefly explain the hierarchy of the authority of the state. Remember, on top, we've got the national, or what we call the central government, or the national government. And then we move on again. This one is the biggest. And then we've got there, here, we are saying under the central government, this is a national government that would ensure that it supports the what? The provincial government for P. And the provincial government, the head of the province, we are saying here is the premier. He has laws and legislation which he will pass to the central government for C, to the local government for L, which, or M, which we are saying it's a municipality. So we are saying municipality, they pass what we call bylaws. I hope you heard this. It can be asked for 9 marks. Okay? If we are moving as a constitutional democracy with a 3-tier system of government, we have said is the central government or the national government. So we are saying here, this is the president, the deputy president, and the different ministers. And then we've got the provincial government. The head of the province is the premier. And then we've got the local government or the municipality. So we are saying this is the municipality. They deliver services to the citizens and they pass bylaws, what we call bylaws. So we are saying here, it has the what? It has the independent constitution ranking from highest to lowest. And then recognized as one of the most progressive in the world. Okay? And then in this section, articles, we are going to talk about the constitution. We have said that the constitution is the supreme law of rules and regulations which must be governed in the country. The 3 spheres of government, we are talking about the central government, and it is followed lastly by the local government or the municipality. And then in the parliament, we said we've got 2 houses. The 2 houses in the parliament, one is called the National Assembly. And in the National Assembly, the president is there as a chairperson, and with other members that are appointed. And then the parliament, again, it has what we have, a National Council of Provinces, the NCOP. So we are saying we've got what we call 9 provinces. And each 9 provinces, there will be 1 official that will be sent where? In the National Assembly. And then we are saying the head of the province here, it is who we call a premier. And then we've got the presidency, and the cabinet is the president. The cabinet, we are saying, is the president, the deputy president, and the ministers. Remember, ministers, they cannot be more than 27. And then if you are going on, we could see that we've got the provincial government. This is the second largest government, and the head is the premier. They also ensure us from the central government, and they pass down these laws and orders where? To the local government. And then we've got the local government. This is what we call service deliveries rendered to people, and they ensure that they are passing bylaws. We've got the traditional leaders, they practice theories whereby they must be having a license to say they practice with a right in our country. And then we've got what we call the Institute to Support Democracies. So we are saying that there are institutions that they support democratic system. And then we've got the lawmaking, which it can be from different laws of legislations that we adopted on other countries as well. And then we've got where we are taking law from the books. And then we are moving on to the National Development Plan. We're saying as a nation, as a country, there is a plan of action which must be executed to ensure that there is a development in terms of the economic, in terms of the whole IDP and GDP of the country. And then these are known as section articles. And then if ever we are going again, South Africa has got how many? 3 levels of government. You still remember them? I've said the highest one is the central government, which is all the national government. And then we've got the provincial government, and we've got the local government, which is known as municipality. You must know that and differentiate. Like I have taught. If we are going on again, we are saying national government or the central government is divided into 3 spheres. We are saying number 1 is lawmaking. This is the legislative authority. So we are saying they actually make laws here, and the actual work of governing, which is called the executive authority. And then we've got and the courts, which is the what? The judicial authority. So we are saying here, you must know that there are 3 types of spheres in the national government: the legislative authority, the executive authority, and the judicial authority. If we are moving on again, we'll see that because 3 capital cities reflect these spheres. The executive capital is in Pretoria, where the union buildings house the seat of the government and offices of the president. They are situated in Pretoria, which is the capital city. And then we've got the judicial capital is situated in Bloemfontein, home of Supreme Court of Appeal. Here you appeal cases that you think that the right decision were not taken. So you lodge, you go to this appeal, you appeal your case, and then they revisit your case. And then in Cape Town, we must know that we've got the legislative capital, where the House of Parliament is there. House of Parliament is drafted there, the vote and the pass of law of the country. The House of Parliament is there. And then lastly, we've got the 2 houses of Parliament, which is a National Assembly, which creates law for the country as a whole, and the National Council of Provinces, which ensure that laws will meet the different needs in each provinces. So they work hand in hand. They coordinate that hand in hand. We would here be asked to give a definition for a family. It can be for 3 marks. So ensure that you have these 3 marks. And then we are saying the smallest unit in the community is a family. Different cultures have different orientation to the family. For example, monogamy, a man or a woman and their children. It can also be a polygamy, a man and 2 wives and the other children, which is it can be an extended family. And then we are saying mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, parents and grandparents, uncles and aunts. So that is the family. And then we've got to say here, distinguish. Remember, again, this question again, it can appear to say distinguish. The word distinguish, you must give differences between the following categories of the family system. So remember that they've said briefly explain, but here you need to elaborate more on this particular family system. Okay, all right, without wasting any time. And then here the only difference is that this can be asked again for 16 marks, whereby you have to give a proper noun mark. So let us assume that you are naming them. You are saying the traditional system, you get a mark for that. And then this, the father is taking the lead, you get a mark. He goes out to work and support the family financially, and he takes the decision for the family. You get a mark. And then this partner, his partner is a full-time mother and a housekeeper and is totally obedient to the father. And then that would be 4 marks. And then if we are going again, the system of camaraderie, we are saying the father still plays a leading role, but the mother's view is taken to account. That is a mark. The mother will normally be a working part-time and will supplement family income. Is recognized. And then for the role that he plays again, or the mother and the do you think? Okay, concept services. family and AIDS, and the poverty relief, council of mediation, and then that is there for me and my crew. We are saying thank you very much for tuning in, and ensure that subscription button and share to your social media platforms. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time.